Yes, like I promised, we would double check the um, configuration. Let's say let's take a look at the cluster configuration again. So when I talk about that, I basically mean we will go take a look at the group configuration. So we have Kubeadm configuration. So the latest version I think is B3 beta 3. So I think that is good one to look at for now. So the basic is that the preferred way to configure Kubeadm is pass an y ym ym uh, how to pronounce ym YAML. Okay, to pass on YAML configuration file in with the last config option. Some of the configuration options defined in the Kubeadm config file are also available as command line flags, but the most common simple use cases are supported with this approach. So let's see. These are all the configuration file, and we only care about the cluster configuration. So cool. So cluster configuration, they have some kind of networking, and they have etcd. So networking is to hold the configuration for the networking topology of the cluster, and it's due to customize the port subnet or subnet network subnet. That's pretty good. And we have etcd to customize local etcd to configure API server to using an external etcd cluster. We don't really care about the external etcd cluster for now. We use it within the same cluster. We don't need some kind of hybridity. I mean, it useful. It is useful if you have multi-cluster and share same database. But the point is that we have one cluster and one entity cluster. We share it in the same topology, so it would be good enough for me. I think good enough for the current users, but it's got a lot more simple. So I mean, you can completely have two kind of cluster, I think, and um, like multi Kubernetes cluster with same etcd. I have never I haven't ever seen Sakai of design like that. It's really interesting if you have a etcd cluster and you have multiple control plane, or simply one kind of cluster and an external etcd, and that can provide some kind of high availability. uh, yeah, you can see that if you look in again, you always have API server, controller manager, and scheduler in the same page. You should have also have kubelet and group proxy. I think it's not in here, but I think it's not here for a reason. It's some kind of engine, so we just going to skip it for now, because most of the design they always contain at least 4 components to make a cluster running. So these 4 guys and kubelet for sure to run some Docker and this thing like that. So let's just back here for a second. So we have networking and etcd. That interesting, and we have some kind of kube proxy configuration here, which we already go through. So that's good for now. And kubelet configuration. uh, yeah. So So init configuration will be used for some kind of later use for all the guys. We can paste in the token mm, and I think yeah, the node registration, I'm not sure completely about this kind of node configuration. We have this, I'm not sure about the init configuration file, but I think I will need to read documentation for that. Otherwise, I think we don't need to care about the intensity and stuff because we simply we don't care about this one. We have the networking part, which is okay for me. I don't have anything against this. About the API servers, yeah, let's take a look again just to be sure. So you know that we have the networking part here. You know what? Let me just put it in the top. I think it would be helpful just put it in the top. Yeah. So we have custom name and we have the control endpoint and things like that one. I just remove this one. Okay, I misclicked it. Sorry. So I will paste right below this Kubeadm version. Okay. Authorization mode. I don't really care about authorization mode and anything like that. We do care about things like cert SANs, cert SANs, and time control and you know um, I'm not sure about this one, so I will just skip this for now because I want to keep this thing simple. And we have control plane endpoint, and we have API server, which is good. We have extra argument. Should be some kind of I don't know. I honestly don't know. This one is some kind of sample. I think we don't necessarily to follow this guy. Let's just go down here real quick. So we have the etcd. Let's go to etcd for now. We have local etcd. We have image metadata. We have metadata. We have extra argument. We have server sounds. I think I'm not sure if this one is necessary. So yeah, I definitely don't want to focus on this one for now. So let's just go down to the I think I will go focus on the networking part. So with networking part we have DNS domain for subnet, service subnet, which I already put in the values and calculate the IP range of it. So we are good with it. So let's go with the Kubeadm version. I think that's fine. We don't have anything to focus in. So for the control plane endpoint, I think that's one of the most important configuration. So it's like a stable IP address or DNS name for control plane. It can be valid IP address, and they should have some kind of advertised address and by port. I don't have any kind of advertised address here. Yeah, I have it here. So it's fine. That's fine. That's definitely fine. In a cluster with more than one control plane instance, this field should be assigned address of external load balancer in front of instance. It's fine. The environment which enforces no through cycling control endpoint should be used as a stable. So I think to join more node, I will just use the load balancer IP address here. So this one is not only external, it's a private IP address that I use within my cluster. So I think I can just go with our address with this guy, and it doesn't matter much. So we have the API server and the control manager and DNS thing like that. Let's go here. Okay, let's just stop video for now. I think it's a bit long now, so talk to you in next video.